Have you ever wondered why there are some coaches who are very successful and they make a lot of money while other coaches sit around struggling? Well, in today's episode, I'm going to break down to you the four different types of coaches that there are and how you can become successful no matter which category of coach you fall into. If you listen to me often, then you know that I love to break down to you the four different types of coaches that there are. And you know that the first type of coach is the coach who's struggling the most or never really going to see success. And the fourth coach is the coach who sees the most success and they're living in abundance and they're making a lot of money. And so my goal with my episodes is usually to talk to you about the four different categories of coaching, which one you fall into, and how you can start scaling up to become the fourth coach that we talk about. But I understand that you transforming into the highest coach level is not going to happen overnight. And if you want to scale up to that area, you have to start with where you are and you have to start seeing some success in your business now so that you don't go through burnout, you don't start feeling discouraged, and you don't give up on your business in its entirety. So my goal in this episode is to talk to you again about the four different coaches that there are, but tell you which product I feel like you should start with if you fall into that coaching category and why. So the first category of coaching that people tend to fall into is what I like to call the generous coach. If you remember, the generous coach is the type of coach who gives everything that they have away for free. So they're the type of coach that you will see that sits on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook Live all day, just teaching people completely for free. You will see them doing podcast episodes where they give value away, or, YouTube videos where they're giving away all this value, but they never upsell you into another offer. If they do ever get to a point where they want to charge a price for their value, what they will do is instead of selling that thing independently and charging what they're worth, they will partner with a company. So they will put their product on a site like Udemy, or they will sell something on, Amazon. They will do something where the platform gets majority of the money and they're getting paid pennies. So it's like, even though they're a business owner and they're creating products, they are getting paid like an employee rather than an entrepreneur. Just from hearing me explain this type of coach, you should be able to see that this coach is going to struggle because they are stuck basically making nothing to making pennies. And my goal is to get every coach to the fourth coach level that we're going to talk about, but that's not going to happen overnight. And if you are a generous coach, it's going to be even more of a struggle for you because you are used to charging nothing for your offers. And so what I want to do is I want to help you where you are. And I was thinking about what is the best product that a generous coach could put out to start making some money today that they will be comfortable with. And in my opinion, I feel like the best offer for you to start with as a generous coach is a journal. Now, I say this because I'm reflecting back on my journey, and I understand that me many years ago fell into the category of being a generous coach. I was the type of coach who had a podcast. I had a faith-based podcast, and every piece of value that I had, I would just give to people on this podcast. It was to a point where I had some people who would get in my comments and they would be like, hey, you're like really good at breaking this down. Do you have like some type of coaching offer? And I would simply ignore their comments because I'm like, no, I'm not doing a coaching program. I'm just going to give everything away for free, right? And that left me feeling burnt out. And so I got to a point where I did decide to create offers, and I did try to create higher tier offers, and they didn't really work out for me. And I feel like a part of that was lack of wisdom and also a lack in mindset and believing in myself. And so the first product that I launched that was actually successful was a journal. And experiencing, launching that journal and actually selling a journal, I can tell you that it is very beneficial if you are a generous coach. And the reason why is because, like I said, when you have been on your journey and you have been going live or making YouTube videos and putting in all this effort and you're not getting much of a return back, you are going to get to the point where you are experiencing burnout. So, for some people who fall into the category of being a generous coach, you might notice right now that you have ideas, but in the past, you were very quick to act on them, but now you're dragging your feet. Now you're making excuses. Now you're procrastinating. And it's because deep down in your heart, you're tired. You're tired of putting in all this work and creating all these products and giving all this energy into your business and into your products, and you're not seeing a result from it, and you don't want to do it anymore. And so, in my opinion, a journal is a very passive way where you can actually coach your client and guide your client to a transformation through this journal without actively being there with them. You can also sell this for, like, let's say $25 or $35 or even $45, which are all low ticket products. And so you don't have to, have this insecurity of like, oh my God, I'm charging $2,000. Is it worth the price? Am I ready for that? Am I worth that price? Can I sell something? You don't have to have those thoughts. You are creating a passive income stream that is very easy to create. So you don't have to put much energy into it. You're selling it at a price that is very comfortable for you, and you're doing all of this passively. It worked for me when I was a generous coach, so I for surely know that it's going to work for you. And if you're listening to this and you're kind of like, okay, you mentioned that I can coach my client through a journal and I don't have to be there. You mentioned that, a journal is very easy to create and it doesn't require a lot of energy. Like, what do you mean by that? I actually have a free training that you can sign up for where I give you 3 frameworks that you can use when you are building out your journal and you're putting the content in your journal that will lead your client to a transformation. So this will make your journal very easier to sell because it's not one of those journals where you just come up with a topic and you throw some pages together. It's actually a journal where you can explain the transformation to your client and why this journal is beneficial to them, which will help you in your marketing as well. And it just makes the whole process of creating your journal, selling your journal, marketing your journal very easy. And so if you're interested in learning more about my training, click the link in my description and you can sign up and get instant access to the training. But now I want to talk about the next coach. The next coaching category that many coaches fall into is what I like to call the timid coach. So, in some aspects, the timid coach is very similar to the generous coach. The only difference between these two is that the timid coach understands that they need to make money in order to sustain their business. So it's like the generous coach, they don't really comprehend that, and that's why they are okay just giving all of their value away for free. The timid coach understands that, and so they will charge a price, but they're still scared to charge higher prices. So what they'll do is they'll lowball themselves and they'll offer major discounts to their clients. So when you see this coach, you might see them offering one-on-one sessions. One-on-one sessions should cost a lot of money, but the timid coach will only be charging $200 to $300 per session for their services. Then you might see them where they do a free consultation. So you can get their time. You can get a session with them completely for free where they give you a framework and they give you value. And then their plan is to upsell you into their $200 to $300 session. And what will happen is most of the time they will attract clients where they'll sign up for this free session. They'll get this value from you. But then when you try to upsell them to your, $200 or $300 session, they disappear. They take all the value that you just gave them in the free session and then they run with it and just be like, thanks. And then you're struggling to, make sales and keep clients and all that. Now, because of these things, you as the timid coach are going to experience burnout as well. And the reason why is for 2 reasons. If you're the type of coach where you do say free consultations and people keep running off, obviously that is going to burn you out because you're putting energy into your business and you're not getting a return and you're getting frustrated because you feel like I'm doing this to, upsell you and you're not taking the offer, you're not taking the bait. And then another reason why this is going to cause burnout is because let's say that people are paying for your offers. They are buying those $300 sessions, or they are buying your $50, course or your $30 ebook. You're working for pennies. You kind of feel like an employee where I'm putting in all this effort, I'm working all these hours of the day, and I'm still barely getting by. Like, yeah, I'm getting some money, but I'm basically living paycheck to paycheck in my business. And so, because of that, I feel like the perfect product for this coach to start with is a course. Courses are great because they can be a variety of prices. They can be as low as $50 and they can go as high as like $1,200 or even $3,000, depending on the transformation that you're getting the client. Now, I'm looking at this from the standpoint of you are probably, as a timid coach, offering courses or offering one-on-one services where you are giving your clients frameworks. And so that's causing you to feel frustrated. That's causing you to feel burnout. That's causing you to feel like you're putting in a lot of effort and not getting a high return. And so what you can do is you can look at what is it that I am giving my clients on these one-on-one sessions or on these free consultations, and what are some similarities that I find myself repeating over and over and over again to these clients. Why don't I just take those similarities, use it to create a framework and put it inside a course? So instead of me giving them one-on-one sessions, I'm giving them an entire course that they can go through that doesn't require me to keep offering my time every single day, hours on hours on hours on end. And they still get the same result, maybe even a better result. I get to charge more for it, and I get to reduce the time and effort that I'm putting into it. Now, with the course, if you still want to show up and you still want to build a connection with your client, you can do two things, right? You can either, when you do your trainings that's going to be inside your course, you can do those trainings live, where it's like, hey guys, we're going to jump on a Zoom call Monday at 7 p.m. and we're going to go through this class and we're going to do it together live, which will only require you to show up live once. Or like, let's say if you're doing the training for a week and you're doing 1 hour per day, that requires 5 hours of your time versus you meeting with multiple clients, let's say 5 different clients every single day, and you're doing 5 hours a day versus 5 hours a week. Or what you can do is you can do a Q&A session where these people go through your self-paced lessons and then they jump on a Zoom call with you once a week. They can ask you questions. You can guide them. You can, basically coach them all together in a group setting for 1 hour to 2 hours, one time per week. Compare that to what you're doing now. Trying to do free consultations and giving each individual client their own framework, trying to do 10 one-on-one sessions per week for an hour. Like, compare that to you just putting everything into a course and going along this process in a group setting with your clients. This is really going to help you reduce your burnout. And what you have to do is you have to challenge yourself, because as of right now, you're offering $200 or you're offering $300. And when it comes to this course, I want you to challenge yourself and I want you to charge no less than $800 for your course. This way, you will be reducing your time and increasing your income. So the third coaching category that many coaches fall into is what I like to call the comfortable coach. Now, the comfortable coach is completely different than the two other coaches that we talked about. They understand not only that they need to make money in their business, but they know that the money that they make in their business needs to be enough to sustain them. See, the generous coach don't understand that they need to make money, so they accept pennies. The timid coach understands that they need to make money, but they're scared, so they lowball themselves, and then they still struggle where they can't do their business full time. They still have to work a job, and their business is more like a side hustle to them. The comfortable coach understands, I need to make money and my business income needs to replace my job so that I can do this full time. So this type of coach, you will see them where they have coaching programs and they will probably offer anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 for them. They might have a membership program where they charge anywhere between $197 per month to $497 per month. They do have higher tier products, but usually their products never exceeds $5,000 for anything. Any product that costs more than $5,000, they feel it's too much for them. They feel like, okay, if you have a coaching program and you're charging $10,000 or $12,000 or $20,000 for it, that is for celebrity coaches. That's not for the everyday coach. That's not for a coach like me. That's for the big time coaches who has millions of followers and gets TED Talk engagements and all these things, right? Because of this coach's mindset, they will see success, they will live a comfortable life, they will be able to replace their job, but they may struggle to grow their business beyond the current capacity. And that's what we want to do. We don't want to run our business from limitations. We want our business to grow. And so if you are a comfortable coach, the product that I feel like you should start with is a coaching program. Now, I know that many comfortable coaches already have a coaching program. Remember, they usually charge, $2,000 to $5,000 for the coaching program. But this is why I feel like you should start with this, because you don't have to build your program from scratch. What I want you to do is I want you to take the current coaching program that you are offering. And if you are getting a lot of results, if you are getting a lot of success stories, if you are getting a lot of sales, I want you to challenge yourself. And I want you to raise the price of that program. Charge no less than $10,000. And if you have to make some tweaks and tweak the transformation and tweak what your client is getting in return so that it matches the new price point that you're selling it at, so be it. But I want you to raise the price. Because my thing is, when you raise the price to at least $10,000 and you offer that service to your client and they actually opt in and they buy it, and you see that $2,000 sale come in and hit your PayPal or hit your Stripe account or hit your checkbook, it's going to completely shift your mindset. Where all this time you've been feeling like, I'm not capable of doing this, I can't do this, I can't charge this. It's going to completely shift the way that you feel about the pricing in your company. And if you're like, okay, but what if I don't want to raise the price of my coaching program? What if I like, charging $2,000 or $5,000? I want to give you another challenge, if that's you, because we're going to have a $10,000 program as a comfortable coach. If you like the product that you are currently selling or the coaching program that you're currently selling, then I want you to think, what is the next step that your client will need after this? And then build an entirely new coaching program that you can upsell them to that will cost $10,000 or more. So we're either going to revamp our current coaching program so that it can be worth $10,000 and we can charge that, or we're going to think about the next step after that and we're going to make that program $10,000. But either way, I want you to have a $10,000 program starting today. Now, let's move on to the last and final coach. I know you're probably thinking we've been talking about coach number 4. What does coach number 4 do? The fourth category that many coaches fall into is what I like to call the high level coach. Now, if you've been listening to me this whole time, you might notice a pattern in the last 3 coaching categories that we talked about. The generous coach, the timid coach, and the comfortable coach all have one thing in common. They price their products in their business based on their security level. They look at who I am as a person. Do I feel like I'm good enough to charge that? Does that price intimidate me? And they charge based on that. But the high-level coach is completely different. The high-level coach prices their products based on the transformation that they can get their client. They do not look at a $15,000 price point and say, am I capable of that? No, they look at a $15,000 price point and ask themselves, does the transformation that I am taking my client to, is it worth charging them $15,000? And if the answer is yes, they're going to put the $15,000 price tag on it. So when they're marketing to their client, they're not marketing from fear. They're not marketing from intimidation. Even if they have clients who complain about the price, why are you charging $15,000 for that? You should be giving that for free. You should have a discount. You should have a Black Friday discount. Why are you just, charging me $30,000 or $50,000? None of that moves them because they are confident that the price that they set for their program is worth the result that their client is going to get in return. And guess what? Not every coach who falls into this category is a celebrity coach. Some of them are unknown. You don't even know their names. But they understand that their status and nothing about who they are is what makes their program worth the price. What makes their program worth the price is the return that they can get their client. And so listening to this, I know you're probably thinking well, what in the world should they start with? Is there a higher level product that they should start with? Like, clearly they have it going on. Clearly they made it. But I actually like to challenge people no matter what level they are at. And so, yes, if you are a high level coach, I have an offer that I would like to challenge you to create for your business. And that offer is a VIP day. Now, you might be listening to this and you might be asking yourself, what in the world is a VIP day? So there is a type of client where they see you and they see that you have a coaching program and they are interested in your coaching program. They feel like that is something that I need help with. That is a problem that I need solved. But I see that your coaching program is 8 weeks. I see that your coaching program is a year. I don't really want to do that for 8 weeks. I don't want to do that for a year. I have a lot on my schedule and I just don't have time to, dedicate 8 weeks of my life to really being intentional in learning this. So what I'm willing to do is I'm willing to pay you to work with me one-on-one for one day. I won't give you 8 weeks of my time. I won't give you 4 weeks of my time. I won't give you a year of my time. But I will be willing to work with you for 4 hours or 6 hours. And during those hours, I'm going to take my entire coaching program, the entire framework that I teach over the course of, say, 8 weeks, and I'm going to give it to you in these few hours. And not only am I going to sit there and just give you the framework, but I'm going to work with you because we're going to personalize this framework to completely fit your situation. We're going to customize this framework. I'm going to use step 1 and make step 1 fit for you. And when you walk away from this VIP day, not only do you have my framework that I teach over 8 weeks, but you also have a plan. We just wrote down an entire plan of how to use my framework to fit your situation and get you that result. That's all a VIP day is. We're just going to take what we're already selling people. We're selling people a coaching program. We're already charging $10,000 or more for this coaching program. We already are confident that we can get people this result. We already are having success stories in our business. Why not take that same framework and just create a VIP day? And you can charge more because your VIP day is worth way more than your coaching program. Having access to you one-on-one for hours is worth way more than having access to you 1 hour a week over 8 weeks in a coaching program. And so because of this, your VIP day is really going to vary, but I suggest that you charge no less than $30,000. So you can have a coaching program that's $10,000, but then have a VIP day that's $30,000. And one thing that you have to understand with VIP days is it's also very exclusive. So with your coaching program, you might have it where 100 people can sign up or 60 people can sign up. But because you have to dedicate so much time for a VIP day, you might have it where I only take 1 VIP day per month. I only take 5 VIP days per year. It's very exclusive. It's not something that everybody can get. It's not like I'm going to be doing 20 VIP days. No, I'm only going to do 1. I'm only going to do 5. I'm only going to do 2 a month, right? And that exclusivity is going to make it where your client definitely wants to sign up. This isn't something that everybody gets access to. They're going to feel special. And on top of them feeling like I want this in a day, knowing that I get this and not everyone has access to it is going to definitely influence them to want to buy. And so I have talked way too much. I want you to understand that my goal is to help you get to a point where you can become a high-level coach. But that's not going to happen overnight. And just because it doesn't happen overnight doesn't mean that you have to wait to see success. There is a product that fits every category of coaching that you currently fall into. And I want you to take the initiative today to start with the product that I gave you if you feel like you are that type of coach. And watch how you go from burnt out, barely making any money, to seeing a little bit of success in your business. And so that is all that I have for you today. Before we go, I do want to give you an action step this week. So, sometime this week, I want you to identify which coaching category you currently fall into, whether it's the generous coach, the timid coach, the comfortable coach, or the high level coach. Then I want you to think about what product did I tell you that you should create in that category. And then I want you to start taking the initiative today to start mapping out that product and getting it sold and launched to your clients. But that is all that I have for you today. If you enjoyed this, leave a comment and let me know how this has helped you. And I will see you next week.